Hello and welcome to our July journaling session, Writing for Wellness. My name is Glenda Miles. I'm a psychotherapist with a special focus on grief and trauma. And I really work between the intersection of Western psychology and Eastern practices, in particular, yoga philosophy and Buddhism. I am a yoga and meditation teacher and wellness facilitator, and I lead the mindful healing space and the mindful practice as a way to really help us create a space where we can connect to our mind, our body, and to practices that really support our journey back to our truth, back to ourself, back to wellness. So welcome to today's practice. I invite you just to take a few moments now to arrive, pausing if you need to go make sure that you have your pen and journal handy, or anything else that might make you feel just comfortable and allowing you to relax into the space for the next few minutes. When you're ready, closing your eyes. And starting to just connect with your inner world, noticing first how your body feels wherever you may be seated right now. Noticing where your body touches the chair or the floor. Scanning quickly your body just to notice any tension or discomfort that you might be feeling, and adjusting now to allow yourself to settle. And finally, bringing your awareness to your chest, to your breath. Noticing the rise and the fall as you inhale and exhale. Allowing this rhythmic movement of your body to comfort you. There's a knowing in this breath, this cycle that repeats over and over again. Breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in all that we need to sustain us. Oxygen. Breathing out all that we do not need, the carbon dioxide and all the other toxins. Breathing in the other more intangible things that we may need from the world around us, from relationships, from the sun, from the earth. Breathing out that which we no longer need. The anger, the judgments, the criticisms, the grudges. Breathing in gratitude. Breathing out forgiveness. Breathing in, breathing out. As we move through today's practice, considering where we are, just take a moment in this gentle silence with yourself, asking yourself about this past month that we just are closing, the month of June. How does it feel? What are the things that come to mind as you think of this past month? As you move forward in your mind of thinking of the month ahead, this fiery month of July, what comes to mind? words, phrases, thoughts, memories. Noticing how it feels in your body. Taking a few last conscious breaths, inhaling, fully exhaling, perhaps opening your mouth and then letting it out with a sigh, releasing any final things that might need to be released. And whenever you're ready, opening your eyes once again, coming back into the room, having your pen and journal handy as we move through some questions to ponder. So this month of July, we're going to be talking about this idea of right action throughout the month in different ways and in different perspectives. There's a quote, the most significant change in a person's life is a change of attitude. Right attitudes produce right actions. Sometimes the way we think about something affects how we behave, and our actions are then a reflection of the next time we come to making that decision again, of reproducing the same things or patterns of behavior, which we've talked about in the science of habits and over the last few months, about thinking about what our intentions have been, how we can nourish those seeds, how we can allow them to grow. And now it's really about, okay, how can we start to think about how our thoughts and our words or actions can align? And how those actions, if you will, the right actions that we take are really aligned with who we are and who we want to be, not who we have been, which is this really important distinction. So remembering as always that we have an inner, whatever word you want to call it, an inner light, a soul, an energy, a higher power, the observer, person, the stands, whatever you'd like to call it. I'm going to call it self, capital S self, that part of us that is unchanging. And when we are able to connect, even for moments of time, to this part of ourselves, we can act with more integrity and truth, which is really about that right action, stepping forward and behaving in the world around us in a way that is better aligned with who we are and our values. We are then empowered, and things just have this tendency to fall into place when we do that, when we are really connected to who we are and what we want, who we want to be in the world, and how we want to show up. Things just have a way of falling into place often. It's as if as the saying goes, when we decide, the universe conspires to help us. So as I mentioned when we were meditating for those few moments, about what were some of the highlights of June. So let's reflect for a moment before we start thinking about the forward into this month. But what do you remember the most about June? What were some of the best parts? And then, of course, as you can pause this, of course, at any time to kind of take a few moments to answer, but also to think about what some of the lowlights were, things that maybe you noticed need improving or focused on. Sometimes we really spend a lot of time focused on that, and not necessarily about the most or the highlights of the month, the best parts. But I really want you to take in the gratitude for what June may have brought you. And balancing that, of course, with the things that we need to improve. But having a more balanced perspective of self is really important. We have this negativity bias that we've talked about lots. And so we tend to focus so much more on the things that need to change or the things we need to improve, which is not a bad thing. Of course, we want to improve and become the best versions of ourselves. But we also need to notice our own progress and the things that have actually worked and how we've actually shown up for ourselves and doing the things that we want to do. So thinking about what your intention may have been at the beginning of June, how did that present itself throughout the month? What were some of the best parts that came up for you? And when you're ready, of course, let's go through this process that many of you have done with me before. I encourage kind of at this mid time of the year, we do it often at the beginning and then mid, but you could do this as part of our monthly check-ins, which I think I'm going to start to do, but also definitely around this time of the mid-year. So let's do a little check-in as to our 9 categories of the cycle of well-being and where we are today. So I want you to think about over the last month, because on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being amazing, 1 being not amazing, and anywhere in between. So on your journal, you can put 1 through 9. Because there's 9 categories, and then you're going to have a number between 1 and 10 for each of these. And I'm going to go through each of them, starting with purpose and meaning. So this is what this category means, and you're going to evaluate yourself on that scale of 1 to 10. I feel I have a clear purpose in my life that guides my daily activities and provides value to others. I feel I make a contribution to my community. I am engaged and excited when I wake up in the morning. On a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being you hit all of those marks in big ways, 1 being you haven't hit any of them. The second category is relational health. I have strong relationships with others, family, friends, colleagues, community. I can count on these people and they can count on me. My immediate circle brings me joy and connection. I bring my true self to those relationships. I bring my true self to those relationships. And those are strong, healthy relationships, 1 to 10. Just go with what comes to mind. Don't ponder it too deeply. These change and move and evolve, of course. So don't spend too much time thinking about it. Moving on to the next category, mental health. I have a growth mindset that allows me to be resilient during challenging times, forgive myself, and like who I am in the world. I know who I am is of value and strive to present that value to the world daily. I take care of my own needs and consider that of others. Again, on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being that it's full, 1 being that there's lots of room for improvement, and anywhere in between. Fourth category, emotional health. I allow myself space to fully experience my full range of emotions in my mind and am mindful of the energy, focus, and emotions I want to experience in my life. I do not avoid messy feelings, but I also do not wallow in depths of emotions for too long. Fifth category, physical health. I move my body daily and take care of my overall physical health through movement, eating well, sleeping well, and ensuring I receive all that I need. I have the energy I need to enjoy my life and deal with challenges as they arise. Next category, where are you on this scale of from 1 to 10, spiritual health? I feel deeply connected to my sense of self, spirit, soul. I live in alignment with my values as a guide to make choices and actions. I have a clear intention with how I want to be in this world. Category 7, financial health. Do you have the means of making money that feels in alignment with your values, provides you the means to live comfortably, and allows you to use your strengths daily? I have a healthy relationship with money. 1 to 10. Category 8, love, partnership. I feel a deep, trusting, appreciative, loving connection with a significant other. We are respectful of each other's needs and work to bring each other's dreams into reality. I live with love and compassion for others in my daily life. If you do not have a spouse or partner in that way, this can be an important person in your life, a family member, a friend. And category 9, the last category, is learning. I cultivate a sense of curiosity in the world around me and seek out new things to learn. I ask questions and engage with others to learn and understand first. I seek out ways to use my strengths and master the skills I deem important for my growth and well-being. So determining that on a scale of 1 to 10. So you should have 9 numbers between 1 and 10. You can add them all together, divide by 9 to get the average score. Also noting your highest and your lowest. So in particular, focusing on perhaps an area in here that you would like to focus on. And so thinking about often these categories, of course, are described as a wheel or a cycle, if you will, for a reason. So when we look at the wheel, there's different parts of the overall wheel. And so when one is maybe lower, it impacts the ability of the whole to move. Think of it like a wheel. And of course, we also know that there's certain ones that go directly or kind of work together in a strong way. And so working on one area can impact multiple other areas. So as you look at the ones that were probably the lowest for you, is there an area that you can kind of recognize that if that improved, it might improve other areas? And so as you think about what that might be, I want you to think of 3 things that you could do to improve this area in your life over the next month, and try to find things that will take you less than a half an hour. Why? Because it's easier to incorporate into your life. And so maybe, if the area in your life is physical health, maybe that could look like one of those things could be going for a walk for 20 minutes or something like that, that feels a little bit more accessible to incorporate into your day, because as we know from building those habits, it's more likely to occur if we do it on a regular basis frequently. So give that some thought, because I think that's a really important thing. And so as we think about the month ahead and making right actions or right steps, right? Can you think of or create an intentional statement for yourself? Keep it short and sweet. It can even be a word or phrase that will be a guide for you over this month, especially as it relates maybe to your focus area or this area in your life. So spending some time perhaps working on that, playing with that. I tend to like to then put it in my agenda, my planner, because I know that I see that then on a regular basis. almost daily, if not daily, sometimes multiple times in the day as I'm looking at kind of what needs to happen. Not only would I then schedule those activities into my day, but also then kind of having that intentional statement. What is my intention? So remembering that intention is focused energy around our behavior. So what is that which drives our behavior? And if we want to have right actions in our life, I'm going to come back to this. You know, if we want to have right actions, we have to have the right attitudes. The right attitude will drive the right action. So and our right attitude is very much related to the intention, the intentionality that we bring to our day, that we bring to our life, that we bring to the things that we do. And often it is very much the mundane. The most of our day is spent doing very unconscious things. So how do we bring some conscious effort into thinking and being with the things that we do all day long that really create the foundation for our life? So this month's events, so there'll be a Yoga Nidra practice uploaded. There will be a new moon meditation released around the 8th. The new moon is on the 9th, but you'll have a meditation as well as a mini practice, movement practice to work with, and some additional questions as a check-in point. And the webinar this month is actually, it was supposed to be on the 23rd, and I apologize, it's going to be switched to the 30th due to me traveling out of town. The webinar is on making hard decisions. So of course, this idea again of, okay, well, what happens as we're moving through making right actions? How do we actually create the space for making a little bit more challenging ones? Or once we make a decision, being okay with the decision that we make. And so we'll discuss more of that in July. And August, our theme is on joy. So we'll move right in then to how to bring more joy, how to connect to our joy and bringing more joy into our life. And of course, as always, join us in the Mindful Practice space. All of the information will be available there, as well as the Facebook group. So I started a new group on Facebook. Some of you may be watching this there, others won't be. So you can check that out and go to Mindful Healing Space and you'll see the group posted there. Both of which are free. This is accessible to everyone. I hope you found it useful, and I look forward to hearing and talking to you throughout the month as we proceed. Enjoy your July, enjoy your summer. Many blessings to you.